Hi guys, welcome to take 23 here in the pasture, and of course it always becomes about the cows. So you got them coming up behind you, trying to scratch their head into the back of your legs, plowing you down, swallowing flies, choking on a fly for one of the takes. And so it is just, now they're chased away. Let's just do this quick little video. It's long overdue, but for our field day, I want to thank everybody. First and foremost, everybody who showed up to the event, whether it's your first time or your sixth time. If you know me, you know I sincerely appreciate that you guys came out to the field day, and I enjoy every one of you guys. Even if I'm not able to get around and personally say hi and thank you to each and every person, I sincerely appreciate it, because this is why we do it. We do it for you guys to show up and enjoy the day, plain and simple. Everybody behind the scenes, Jason, Ryan, Shannon, Jennifer, folks that have been with us for a lot of years, and there's some new people that are coming into these offices that help with printing things out, organizing stuff, the coffees and donuts, helping with chairs, and then helping with funding behind the scenes. And this year, a special thanks to Mark and the Minnesota Soil Health Coalition, because they stepped up and sponsored the event. Whatever other people wouldn't pay, they picked up the tab for. And it is a lot of money to put on an event like this, especially at the scale of this one. And so most of these pasture walk, field day type deals, you plan on 15 people, and that is great. 15 people at a field event like this is fantastic. It's a good turnout, and it's a great crowd because you can just have them intimate conversations. Nobody is scared to talk about anything, and so it just works really great. But when you're having 60 to 80 people, we served 89 burgers this year, and so you got 2 tents to rent. You can't just have the little 10 by 10 pop-up tent anymore, and tables and chairs, and food on hand ready for 100 plus people. And it behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. And so for the folks behind the scenes, just thank you very much. And Minnesota Soil Health Coalition especially, thank you for this year. The presenters, I try to come up with a good flow to the presentations, and I think this is what sets us apart, makes us probably one of the best field day pasture walks you could ever go to, because it does not matter. You could be the most black of black dirt recreational tillage guy, just can't wait to get up in the morning to write a check at your local retailer to buy a product for no reason at all, but just because it says it gives a couple bushel response. Guarantee there is stuff for you to learn and take away from our field day. Guarantee it. You could be the guy that is so confinement on cattle, you literally just lock each one in its own little room. There is stuff to be taken away. And so this year, the presentations, I had my little opening monologue, and what we're doing here on the farm and where we're going with it, and some of the science I'm trying to do. And then you bring in the Joe and Darrell to kind of bring in the actual real educated fellers in science to kind of clean up my mess as a farmer, and then explain what is really going on. And so that was fantastic. And then Anne-Marie Journey is a hit every year. Every year, her presentations, she's an entomologist. She worked with the University of Minnesota as a researcher on corn rootworm for a lot of years. And so one person actually asked her a rootworm question, and we learned more in 10 minutes about rootworm with just her and that guy talking back and forth than I've ever heard from at any retailer meeting or any farm magazine or anything online ever before. And then she talked about the ecology of a cow patty, and that is really fascinating. That a little tiny black dung beetle many miles away can smell a fresh cow patty and start moving that way. Like how a bug, you could fit 10 bugs on your thumbnail, and yet they could smell something miles away. How that thing could smell a foot away is amazing. And Joe and Darrell, they had a lot of great talk about carbon and how carbon works in the soil, and Haney testing and plant testing and nutrient management, and they really kind of helped back up my statements of retail P&K is a pure fallacy. You need to be, there's so much more tools available for us farmers today to use our fertility dollars so much more wisely. And then we had the state specialist Grazer Dean, and then Brian with breeding, setting yourself up for success with breeding and genetics and feed and minerals. And that conversation just kind of took off on its own, which is fantastic. That's the whole point, is for not a presenter to be the expert, but just get that conversation going between farmers and sharing experiences. And then with Zimmerman Manufacturing this year being the first equipment company, then them conversations got going. On the Strip to Bar, people asked if I would actually buy one. If, price to price, apples to apples, the fertilizer system from brands to brands really change a lot. And so, but if they're 12 units on a bar versus the competitor's 12 units on a bar, if they're fairly close in price and still within the budget, absolutely bar none, I would really, really, really look into that unit. But if there's a massive premium on it, then I will stick to being inside my budget. But it is a fantastic looking machine. Hopefully we did a good job for them and they want to come back next year. And then at the end, Lance Klessing brought it all together with everything that was presented today. Take home something and start trying. Start, get a shovel, get digging in your soil to see what you got going on. But, if the Haney testing sparked a thought with you, then go home and start doing it. And that kind of stuff. It is just it is a fantastic, very low key, mild, just a fun day. It's fun to look around the crowd and just see people laughing and having a good meal, and just it's almost like fellowship after church is the feeling that you get, is the environment. And we're out here, on an alfalfa field, and it's just beautiful, and it's a great time of year. And, the color change is just starting. And so, gosh, if we could, look at how gorgeous that is. If we just, move that field day back a couple days, then you'd have that kind of just gorgeous, just beautiful. Yeah, I have a lot of pride put into this show that we are just top notch. If you wanted this type of conversations that we have at this show, guaranteed you will be spending $400 on a ticket to go to a national event to get the conversations that we had here. And so next year I expect all of you guys to be here. I did have a lot of local neighbors kind of be like, well, we thought about coming, but we're not quite sure, we're not hippie and dippy like you are. And I'm like, yeah, you missed out, man. You missed out. If you believe, you missed out. I don't care, you missed out. And so, yeah, on that note, I'm just going to leave right there, guys. But thank you to everybody that helps, everybody that shows up. And I did not videotape nothing this year. Still a little hectic behind the scenes for me to be doing videotaping, but I will. Next year, we will get something figured out to start videotaping presentations. And then, yeah, so we can share for the guys that can't make it. And so, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you.